Have you ever wondered what it'd feel like to be a walking tank, blasting punks into next week, or throwing dudes into roofs? Well, luckily for you, dear viewer, the developers of RoboCop Rogue City have got your back. This is an extremely competent and brutal first-person shooter that was clearly made with love for the franchise. The game is filled with Easter eggs and one-liners from the first two films that'll have you chuckling and calling upon your member berries.
Now, you leave. Bitches, come!
The streets and locations you visit are beautifully remade and feel right at home with the exact tone of what the game is trying to achieve, from the buildings, cars, graffiti, the detritus lining the streets, and even the police precinct. All of them are crafted with authenticity in mind. The plot, as you'd expect, revolves around Alex Murphy, our cyborg cop, called to the news station to defuse a hostage situation being perpetrated by Soot and his gang, the Torchheads. The whole stunt is a demonstration with the aim of impressing the new guy in town, our main antagonist for this entry. Along the way, Murphy falls prey to some heavy glitching and malfunctions at rather inconvenient moments.
Like the one that took Soot! You hear me?
You work so hard, honey. Why don't you take some leave? We all could use a little break from this reality, don't you think?
Wakey wakey!
Incidents like these serve as a plot point between Murphy and the ever-scheming OCP, Robo's creators. As the story unfolds, we uncover a sinister plot, reveal the truth behind the new guy, and foil their plans for world domination. Well, the domination of Detroit at least. Outside of the main story missions, you'll be carrying out police duties like serving tickets to the local drunks, shittily parked vehicles, and graffiti connoisseurs. And whilst the downtown area, which serves as your open world section, isn't massive, and thankfully so, there's just the right amount of side missions to keep you literally plodding along. But what is here has been detailed well enough that you really feel like part of the world you see in the original movies. It's also refreshing to see that side missions are well constructed too. They're not overly long, and at the same time, not your standard, go here and collect 10 of this kind of rubbish either.
Your voice. You sound like
A future happy customer.
fucking RoboCop!
Each mission can have you solving a murder, scanning for evidence, interrogating witnesses and the like. Things a cop should be doing. And as you can imagine, the combat isn't too complex. You point, you shoot. It does provide a rather hefty kick to the gunplay, however, and with the option to deliver bone-crunching punches, it's actually a ton of fun. If there's an armoured up prick in front of you, no worries. Grab him by the balls and launch him through a window. It's all very satisfying to engage with in whatever fashion you like. The talent tree isn't groundbreaking, but the perks you can acquire are impactful enough that you're always looking ahead to your next level up, such as being able to heal from electric boxes, ricochet your bullets and find secrets on the map, even finesse your way through dialogue options. And it's through your talent placements you also unlock powerful abilities. You can slow down time, perform a quick dash, gain a big 80% damage reduction, and send out shockwaves to splat your foes who are stupid enough to get close. And later on in the game, your signature hand cannon, the Auto 9, is also customizable. You find these chipsets that you can attach to your weapon, and these offer powerful perks, such as auto-refilling your clip so you never need to reload, explosive rounds, and additional piercing effects for your bullets. They all contribute to make the combat and the overall feel of the game that much more worthwhile. Regarding the graphics, on max settings the game looks astounding. There's still some gamey looking faces, but Murphy himself and the environments are top notch. The game was made with Unreal Engine 5 and the inclusion of lumen lighting really adds to the immersion. So if you're looking for a really fun shooter that doesn't overstay its welcome, I don't think you'll be disappointed here. I got the 100% and pretty much explored everything you can do inside of 15 hours, so it's relatively short and sweet. Fortunately, a lot of the achievements are for completing missions or performing easy tasks in combat, so it's not difficult to get the 100% either. In terms of negatives, by the time you're almost finished with the game, slowly trudging everywhere can start to wear on you. I can imagine if they tried to stretch it out by another 10 hours, it would have felt more like a chore, which thankfully wasn't the case. Despite the performance being actually very good, I did have to lower some settings as my PC began sounding like it was trying to take off into space. I don't have the strongest rig by today's standards, but it's still pretty good. And funnily enough, it was during cutscenes and not gameplay when it seemed like my system was really going through the gears. Most of the side quests are engaging, such as the murder case and other similar missions, but especially back at the precinct, the missions you do there are monotonous by comparison. Fixing issues with the precinct server, going round the station to get signatures for a get well soon card, fixing the fuse box, and other such busy work. They kinda just break you out of the role you're on. I've just been on a mission to save the city, putting down criminals with extreme prejudice, and now I'm printing out a picture of a fellow officer from the database so it can be hung on the wall. Nah, thanks. Those grumbles aside, I enjoyed this somewhat short game quite a lot. I'm actually grateful it wasn't bloated beyond what was delivered, as it allowed the developers, Teyon, to fully flesh out what they had. Outside of those uninspired parts, the main story delivered, and it was a very faithful recreation of the RoboCop world. I picked this up for the bargain price of £8 on a Steam sale, which is about 10 USD.
It's a deal. It's a steal. It's sale of the fucking century.
And for that price, it's unbeatable. If you're a fan of RoboCop and the tone of the early movies, this is for you. And just 2 weeks ago, as of making this video, Teyon unveiled a standalone expansion titled Unfinished Business, which is to be released later this year. From what we know of that, Murphy will be ascending to the top of Omni Tower, a building designed by OCP to house residents of Old Detroit. But an elite group of mercenaries have taken it over, and it's down to RoboCop to stop them. And the premise of the expansion reminds me of the Dredd film from 2012, which is awesome too, by the way, if you haven't seen it. I think Teyon would do a bang-up job of making a Dredd game in the same vein as Rogue City. It all looks very promising, and I'm glad I finally got around to playing this first, and so close to the new release as well. That's all I've got for you today. If you enjoyed this little look at RoboCop Rogue City, I'd be eternally grateful if you'd consider subscribing for future releases, giving the vid a like, or dropping a comment to offer your own thoughts and experiences with the game. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care. Toodle pip.
Bitches leave.